All right, everyone, please, I welcome you to the Historic Preservation Commission meeting for February 9th, 2026. It is 5:43 p.m., and I'll call this meeting officially to order. Monica, will you like to do a roll call?
Michelle Walker, Roxy Deer,
Present.
Tina Conti,
Present.
Josh Imhoff, Megan Ripperger, Kamea Edwards,
Present.
Damon Jacobson.
Present.
All right, the first thing on the agenda today is approval of minutes for our July 14th, 2025 meeting. That was our last official meeting here in the chambers. We have had some unofficial meetings, some planning meetings off-site, but approval of minutes for July 14th, 2025.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, next we have election of officers. This is a one-year term, I believe.
Yes.
And we need to fill the president and the vice president role. Currently, Michelle is our president. I am the vice president. And we need to, Michelle is no longer available to serve in the presidency role. Will she be able to be on the HBC, do we know?
That I don't know for sure.
We're still waiting.
Yeah, I think when she's,
Yeah, currently she's still a resident.
Okay.
yeah, she currently still is.
All right, so we need nominations. We're gonna open the floor to nominations.
I will nominate Roxy Deer for president.
Thank you.
Anyone want to second that?
I'll second.
And then Camilla, would you like to serve in the role as vice president?
I can do that.
I'll make a motion for Kamea Edwards for vice president.
I'll second it.
All right. So we have a nomination on the floor for both president and vice president. Are there any other nominations? All right, hearing none, I move for a motion to accept the 2026 ballot.
Make a motion to accept the ballot. Second.
Second it.
All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, we have a couple of items on our miscellaneous list of projects. We're working on commissioner training. I have emailed Indiana Landmarks and Ball State, and I need to follow up with both of them. I think Indiana Landmarks has had a staffing change locally again, so looking to get a better connection there. There is a conference at the end of September, last week of September, that has the commissioner training. Damon, you've been to that training. I would like us all to go through the training together. I think that's where,
I agree. I think it would be beneficial to get as many commissioners to go as possible. I've been fortunate to go for a few years, and you still learn something new every year.
yeah. So if we can't bring someone here, I suggest we all try to go to the conference.
Yeah.
I know it's away.
It was very valuable
It's
anyway.
not the distance, it's the timing. It is
yeah.
almost always at the end of a quarter, and my regular job prevents me from being allowed to take time off at the end of a quarter.
Okay.
And the end of the fiscal year for some.
The Preserving Historic Places Conference.
Yeah,
I
I'd
think
love to
it's
go to it.
in Franklin this year, I think is where it's located.
Sounds right.
Yeah. I'll continue to work on Indiana Landmarks about bringing someone here. The conversations with Ball State were fantastic. It was just the scope of the training. They wanted to do like a week-long, 4 hours a day training. And I said, can you condense that down to like 4 hours tops or 6 hours tops? And instead of
4 Saturdays or something.
yeah, instead of 20 hours of training. And they weren't as interested in that, so. Okay, the next thing is repairing the work plan link on the website. Monica, will you update us on where that's at?
I don't.
As of today, it is still not working. I checked it earlier today, but you can find it if you just Googled the title of the document. It does come up. It's just for some reason the link on the historic preservation page is not
So you
working.
can just Google.
If you just take the title and Google it, you can find it, but it's, the
'Cause
link
well, then I
itself is
will-
the problem.
I will get that, and I will Google that, and I will let Lindsay know, and then she can get that fixed. I wasn't even sure what the document was, to be honest. I mean, that was before I.
So just for our audience's knowledge, our website is through the city's page, and it had a broken link to the work plan that Ball State had put together back in 2007,
I think 7.
yeah. I think, I reached out to Ball State, they all were like, yeah, let's chat about it, and then they didn't respond back, so I'm sure someone in the archives there has it, it's just not.
Find it through Google.
Yeah,
can
I did.
Get that to Lindsay then.
A couple other things about the website, there's a couple links that need to be added, so I'll, if we could all take time over the next month and review the website and suggest any edits to the group, I think that would be helpful.
I was just going to find the actual name of the link document for you. It is the Report Richmond Neighborhood Preservation Plan. That is the link that is not working.
What is it called again?
It's called Report Richmond Neighborhood Preservation Plan.
You send everyone the updated link or the.
Yeah,
link
how I
to
found
it.
it, yeah.
One of the things we talked about in one of our planning sessions was moving our meetings. We are currently on the, what is this, the second Monday of the month, and we looked at moving it to the fourth Monday. If we proceed with that, we need to write a resolution, I'm assuming take that to city council? Is
Yes.
that-
Yes, it has to be, yeah.
So do we want to move forward with that, or do we want to fill a couple of our vacancies? We have one, maybe two potential vacancies before we check with calendars.
I think we should look at filling them and
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause we may go through this and then somebody we want on the commission may not be available that particular week, so let's, yeah.
Yep. Any other new business for the good of the order? I know we have a couple of faces in the crowd. If you'd like to introduce yourself, say anything, we welcome that. You can come up to the microphone.
My name is Mick Elmore. I live here. Matter of fact, just a couple blocks away. I'm just kind of curious as to what you do. That's why I came tonight.
Yeah.
Also, I went to your talk at the library maybe 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And you took us on a tour down Main Street. It was fantastic, so I just got kind of interested.
Yeah.
And
We're glad,
so I'm figuring out what you guys do. I mean, I have some questions if I could ask them.
Yeah,
we'll
absolutely.
do our best to answer.
Well, specifically, you mentioned the Tivoli is pretty much written off. It's not, they're not going to try and save it?
No, that's not, no. The back half of the building is not salvageable. The front half of the building is, as I know of it, in current standing, can be salvaged. I have not been in there myself, but the back half is set to be torn down.
The back half, you're talking about the actual
The north side.
theater
The
part.
Tivoli, yeah.
I mean, they wouldn't, that front section, just that one that's maybe as wide as where I am to where you are, that's,
It's about the size of this room, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the back half has a significant hole in the roof, pretty significant, and has had significant damage over the last 10 years. But before it's torn down, it will have to come to this commission. It will have to go through multiple commissions for the city to be torn down.
so you'll still be there in 15 years, I take it, right?
I don't know. I can't answer that for the city.
Actually, I might come back if I remember my other questions.
Okay,
but,
absolutely. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, we appreciate your interest.
Thank you.
I'll answer the first question, what does the HPC do? If you want to come up. The HPC is an arm of the government, of the city office that oversees historic neighborhoods, historic homes, historic architecture, and oversees the permits for construction work in those neighborhoods. Correct me if I'm saying this wrong. And it, basically, if there's any major construction or tear down, thank you. Thank you. Mia always has the great documents right here. So we promote the educational, cultural, and general welfare of the citizens of Richmond. We ensure the harmonious and orderly growth and development of municipality. We maintain established residential neighborhoods in danger or having their distinctiveness destroyed. We enhance property values and attract new residents. Ensure the viability of the traditional uptown area and enhance tourism within the city of Richmond.
And if I can add to that, so we don't have any current local historic districts. We have conservation districts, and those are accessible through the city's website and through the Beacon GIS. You can do the different layers on that. We're working on getting it easier to be accessible through the HPC portion of the city government site. And that will show people what areas of the city are under those protections. So if you have a home in one of those areas, like myself, I have a home that's in a conservation district. It's also an Indiana landmark, and it's also underneath federal protection for National Historic Registry, so I got lots of hoops. So using my home as an example, if I wanted to build a shed on the back of the property, not only do I have to submit for a permit through zoning and permits, but I also have to bring it to the commission, recuse myself from sitting on the commission, and ask for permission and through a COA, certificate of appropriateness, to say that, is this the appropriate type structure that is supposed to be on that historic property? Is it the appropriate build, style, color, materials, et cetera?
And can you see it from the right-of-way?
Right, and to see it from the right-of-way. And if my home is brick and through Indiana landmarks, can't do anything to the exterior, but if I was, I have a carriage house. If I wanted to paint the carriage house, I would have to bring it to the historic, through the HPC, ask for their, basically their permission to say, hey, I want to paint it, I'm keeping it the same color, but I'm changing this, and then they would say yay or nay, and then that would go on to Indiana landmarks. Most homes don't have to go through all three hoops. So that's what we're here for, basically to protect homes that are in those conservation districts, try to establish some historic districts through our local government, and to keep one of those historic homes from being torn down, demolished, painted purple, the wrong shade of purple, not like a historic color.
We don't have anything
cetera.
against purple, it's just.
Yeah, just the wrong shade, trying to use historic colors, historic materials, but also letting people know that we're not purists. We understand that there are financial boundaries there. And so we look at it from a historic perspective as well as a financial perspective, as long as it's similar and it's going to look, pleasing to the historical nature of the
That it will
area.
be cohesive and
Yes.
consistent with the things that make that neighborhood specifically unique, why it was designated in the first place.
There are times where people will come to us with tear downs, or I think one of the first things I ever experienced with the HPC, something that had already been torn down without permission. So what was the fine schedule for that? What was the
What were the ramifications?
Thank you. My brain is not working today. And so figuring out how to work through those, educating people that these are rules that you have to follow, laws that are in place to protect our historic district, make our community look better.
And we did recently work on, increasing those fines because they had been set there for decades at very little.
Yeah.
So the two homes that are being torn down now between Main Street and South A on about 14th, I just happened to be walking by, talked to the guys who were taking the wood out. Did they have to go through you?
It's not under a conservation district.
If it's not in a conservation district, which is one of the reasons why we as a commission,
Trying to expand those
we would
areas.
like to expand those. We encourage community members, if you have a neighborhood that you feel should be under that, please come talk to us about it. That's something that we would like to know, because then it helps us to identify where in town there will be support for that.
Okay.
Across the state of Indiana, there's been a lot of issues with the HPCs not having the teeth to do the work they need to protect the neighborhoods. And so across the state, there's a lot of education, which you heard us talking about trainings, about how we can grow the strength of this commission to protect those neighborhoods. Currently, you have to have so many signatures of the current neighborhoods. A lot of times we're working in neighborhoods where people don't want to deal with anything with the government or the city. So we understand that. And so working with Indiana Landmarks, our local leaders, to make sure that we're doing the best we can for our community.
Great.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle.
Yeah.
And just to add to that, to make it clear for anybody watching, that the idea is not to put restrictions or to try to stop everybody from doing things on the homes, but it's to save these neighborhoods so that in the future, they do maintain their integrity and their historical properties, and they aren't overrun with additions that do not belong in this kind of area. It tends to degrade the neighborhoods and loses value in the neighborhood. The idea is to maintain the value of these neighborhoods.
Yeah. Our next guest.
We'll let him go.
Yeah,
We'll let
come
him
on
go
up, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Lucas Gosnell. I'm a resident of the city, been my whole life. I've only recently started going to like essentially every public meeting that I can go to, more or less because I realized how little I actually knew about how the city runs. And how little everyone else I talk to knows about it. Even other people within the city government sometimes seem to have very little idea. Like sometimes, because I go to all these meetings, I'll encounter people and they'll be like, oh, what happened at that meeting? But I know that before they do, and they're city officials, and that's sometimes a concerning thing. And so I'm trying to go to these places to see, what is it that you people do? I mean, how does that work? Historic preservation matters deeply to me. When I grew up, always walking down the street, these really nice, fancy houses, the kind of interesting designs, the Depot District, and going down there all the time as a kid, it made a difference to me. And it really made me feel like Richmond was worth preserving, because so many people I know, my age, essentially said the first thing they're going to do when they have the ability to is just get out of town. They did not want to be here. They did not see a purpose in being here. They did not see anything worth saving in the city whatsoever. And being frank, it was really hard for me to believe that too. But I did see the little things that were around, and it felt like it would be losing a lot for that to be gone. And historic preservation, being the commission that deals with that, it seemed like a good place to go to understand better about how that works, the details of this. There's a lot I don't know, honestly, about everything. And so going to the place where people do know seems like a good idea.
Yeah, applaud your effort.
Yeah, we applaud
Yes.
your effort. And what's unique about Richmond, something I love, is that when I travel to other communities who are trying to establish an HPC or establish groups to do restoration work, they're restoring homes from the 1950s because they have already demolished their historic neighborhoods. And so we have a unique opportunity to really put some boots to the ground and get work done and make sure that our homes are owned by people who care about them, that our neighbors care about one another. It's a cultural impact, and it's a major undertaking for this community.
Yeah. I agree with your sentiment of hearing people who said, oh, when I get to whatever, I'm going to get out of town. I was one of those residents originally from here, left over 25 years ago, came back, bought a historic home, and I'm up to here, and it's connected me with some incredible people through our community. And like yourself, you don't know until you know. And then once you start learning, you know more, and you try to spread that knowledge around to our fellow community members. So we're grateful for you being here and sharing your story and willing to share and ask questions.
One aspect of historic preservation of this commission is to try to do more community outreach. It is definitely an aspiration of ours to do so, to help educate the people who call this place home, why there is value in the historic neighborhoods and buildings that make this a very unique and important place.
Yeah, agreed.
Right. And that community outreach thing, that's one of the reasons, as much as I think it's a good thing me being here, and I think that more people should be, I shouldn't have to go to all of these public meetings to understand my city the way that I need to. And the fact that I have to keep putting in more and more effort, the fact that it keeps getting more and more frustrating is not a good sign. And it's not something that I think is conducive towards people honestly caring at all. It's one of the reasons I think people get it. They get to the wall, and I'm lucky I have the energy and motivation for it, but very few people I know do. And any effort, I think, to make it as easy as possible to access information, even the smallest hurdles, can make huge differences in people being like, I have to put literally any effort into it at all. I'm not. And then they just don't.
Yeah, and
And,
this is a shameless plug for WCTV. All of our meetings are streamed live, and you can find them on the city's social media. YouTube, I believe, is where they're living. But if you can't make it to an in-person meeting, you can always follow up with WCTV's recordings.
Yeah, it's a great resource.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Nick, did you have another question? Well, you know how to reach out to us. If you have any questions, you can always reach out. And we invite you to attend all of our meetings. We are scheduled to have another one on March 9th at 5:30, right back here in the municipal building. Before we jump into that, I did have a thought that you actually made me remember. The Indiana Humanities Grants are open, which we have accessed before for training opportunities. Do we want to explore that opportunity again? I don't know if it's open or closed at this point. Do we want to explore that again?
I think it's a good idea. Yes.
Okay.
And I think I remember that's a matching,
Not sure about Indiana Humanities. I know that there's,
not the one that
landmarks is a match.
is a matching one? Okay.
Humanities is not.
It's just a straight up, okay.
Yeah.
Indiana DNR, there's one, I have a link for you guys. It's matching.
Okay, because I knew some were matching and some weren't, so if it was a matching, does the city have a match?
Maybe.
Or other organizations that maybe could offset, right?
So we'll,
Be looked into.
we'll
Yeah.
go offline and have that conversation about what those grants, I would imagine we want to use them for training opportunities, some educational opportunities, maybe
Yes.
something. So we can have that conversation via email, once we pull all the information on that, but, I would encourage us to look into that.
Not just training too, we should also see what kind of things they have for outreach, as we just discussed.
Yeah, yeah,
We really need to plan some outreach opportunities.
yeah. All right, anything else for the good of the order for this meeting?
I have nothing.
I appreciate everyone being here. If I hear no other new business, I'd take a motion to adjourn.
Guess I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second it.
All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.